Welcome, people of planet Earth and all planets beyond. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Josh, and my family and I make our living by buying and selling things we find at yard sales, thrift stores, wherever we can find them internationally even. And we sell them on platforms like eBay, Depop, Poshmark, and Mercari. And these are our top 5 finds that we found this week. So this week has been pretty full of sourcing. We've been doing a lot of digging all around from yard sales, flea markets, and thrift stores and rag houses. So I have a couple of cool finds that I want to show you guys here today. First, we have these. This is just some Bush Quail 1988 campaign hats. Just 2 of them. Picked these up at the thrift store for a couple of, I think a couple quarters each. But they're like brand new, and it's, old political stuff's always fun to find. Don't necessarily know that it has a huge resale value, but it's definitely cool. This was the election, the year I was born, so pretty, I don't know, pretty cool. These are hats that are as old as me, at least. So that was pretty cool. Next up, we have a rag house find that we found. Pull this out. This is a really dope t-shirt right here. This vintage Easy Riders t-shirt. Definitely has like American Thunder vibes, but it is not American Thunder. On the Hanes Beefy. This is probably from like the late 90s. It's on both sides. So you have the back side, the front side. Super dope in a size, let's see. I think it's size large. Yeah, size large. So super awesome tee right here. Not sure the value. It's not one of like the 3D emblems or anything like that. So probably 50 to 75, something like that is my guess. But super cool t-shirt right here. One of my favorite finds so far. Here we have a really interesting one at number 3. And it's this guy right here. This is, I don't necessarily know this is even vintage per se, but these are Guatemalan. So it says made in Guatemala. So these are like some artisan handmade jackets from Guatemala. Love the print. This is a super fall looking piece, even though they're like picking flowers here. So this is like some handmade embroidery. It's super cool. Pick this up for a few bucks. It works. I don't necessarily know how old it is. I don't think it's like this crazy old, like super old ethnic piece or anything, but I do believe it's probably in the last 20 or 30 years. So it's still super cool looking. I do love it. One of the cooler pieces, more interesting pieces, and that I don't know much about too, that we found this week. Then at number 2 we have this USMC, U.S. Marine Corps, 1940s and I believe it's 1940s, maybe 50s, Marine Corps fatigue. You can see it's got this herringbone pattern, which is a more rare and desired version of these types of uniforms. This one's obviously pretty well worn. There's no interior stamps left on it. You can see the exterior stamps, the rank and stuff is all there. The buttons are sort of donut buttons that say U.S. Marine Corps. That's super cool. It's obviously super well worn. There's no wonder why it was on the way to the, the baler and the rag house. But we got to pick it up and get it out of there. Super glad I did. This is the one part of this job that I love the most, I think, is the history. Finding historical things like this and learning a little bit more about it every time we find something new. So super cool piece here. Almost number 1. Now before we get to number 1, I did mention that we do purchase and source from international sources, and we do that through a company called Fleek that connects rag houses from around the world and bulk resellers from around the world to sellers, small sellers like us, where we can buy wholesale vintage clothing for a pretty good price and from all over the place and from the comfort of our own living room. And they do this through their app. You can actually get hand-picked video calls with distributors and rag houses from literally on the opposite side of the planet and hand-pick your vintage garments to buy wholesale. This is an incredibly useful service, and it's definitely one of the ways that we see our business growing in the future. So if you want, you can get 10% off of your first order by using the link in the description below, or using our code LoopFam10. Get 10% off your whole order. It's definitely a game changer for us as we live out in the rural, middle of the country, don't always get access to lots and lots of volume. This definitely helps supplement our inventory. Now at number 1, this one is crazy. This is one of my favorite pieces of the year, actually. I recently did a video on the top, I think it was a top 10 highest selling vintage sweaters or sweatshirts of the last couple weeks, a few weeks ago. And at number 1, I believe, or number 2, was this sweater right here. And I found it myself. This is the Polo Ralph Lauren 9/11 First Responders Tribute Sweater. This thing is a grail, a Polo Ralph Lauren grail for sure. Definitely one of my favorite pieces. I'm gonna be hard pressed to let this go. It's so cool. It's my size XL. Maybe get a wear out of it or two. It's in great shape. Fantastic. I was so happy to find this out at the thrift store. I think it's beautiful, and it's such a cool piece of history, especially with with American history, but also with Ralph Lauren history too as well. So it's definitely number 1 on this list, and it deserves to be so. One of the cooler Ralph Lauren pieces I've ever found live in the trenches. So definitely one of my favorites. This probably goes top. I mean, we're probably gonna do like a top 10 thrift finds of the whole year. This will probably be on that list for sure because it's such a cool piece. Comps are like in the $300 to $400 range, something like that. But we'll see what it goes for eventually, because it may be hard for me to let go, so it might have to be a pretty good offer for me to even consider it. But super cool sweatshirt, definitely number 1. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.